If you just even say you have anything to do with squirrels, if you just even say you have anything to do with squirrels, that becomes a political statement. People get all up in arms and have opinions and you're wrong, you're bad. Then you take it a step further. You say, okay, now you're in your people. You're with people who also like squirrels. Now, depending on what you put in the cabin for your squirrel, that's a hot issue. I was not aware of this. I recently kind of stepped into it. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know it was a political issue. I have these cabins for squirrels. Very recently, all I put in them was leaves because that's what they put in them. Leaves rot and they turn to dirt. Well, it looks like dirt, but it's called leaf rot. And when I looked into it, it's bad for them because it has mold and that's dangerous for them. So then wanted to make sure they got through the winter without having that situation. So I started Googling and then I run across someone said use fleece because fleece is water resistant and helps keep them warm. He said cut up strips of strips of fleece. That made sense to me because flashback, 4 years. Did I just say I only ever use leaves? I lied. The reason I only ever use leaves is because I made a error way early on. I had bought polyfill. I had put it in Little Black Bear's nest. Little Black Bear removed it from her nest and a mouse got a hold of it and installed it in my car, in the front of the car where the engine is. And the next time I went in for an oil change, it was very cold. It was wintertime, so they closed doors around the car and the mouse came running out of my car and they screamed, the girl screamed, and then they ended up opening the garage door thing and chasing the mouse out. And I felt bad, because I don't know where that mouse went. I didn't want it living in my car at the time, but now, you get some time later to think and you go, geez, what happened to that mouse? So, and I've laughed before wondering, how did it feel? So the mouse rode in my car down a busy road. I mean, I went down a road where it's like 45 miles per hour to get to the oil change place. So that whole thing of using polyfill, the squirrels didn't like it, the mice did. The mice used it to create a home where I didn't want them making a home. So I said, okay, no more polyfill. So I just set all that aside. For years, just use leaves. Then recently, like I said, because of the leaf rot and blah, 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 decided let's try fleece. And they said use strips of fleece. I'm like, okay, this makes sense because I know from experience, if squirrels don't like it, they'll remove it. And if I put in an entire blanket, they're gonna have a harder time getting it out. So I cut strips of fleece that I knew they could just carry in their teeth and get it out of there. Well, I got a comment from someone saying, look out, fleece can freeze or something. And then I look into that and it turns out, yes. So fleece is on the fence on, how great is it? Because it's water resistant. So it's better than like using a t-shirt or something, or even some other fabrics that they mentioned. It's a better fabric to use, but they said, but you run the risk if it were to become saturated with snow or whatever. And I've thought about it, how would it in one of these cabins? Because the snow doesn't get in like that. This isn't a nest, like an open nest that I'm putting it in. But they said, if it were to become saturated with snow or water or whatever, it could freeze against the squirrel's body and then cause the squirrel to die. So that's not good. So then, so I started investigating more, and this is where I found what a rabbit hole, oh my gosh, of political views and battle cries. And I found a Facebook post. I don't use Facebook. Facebook post, when made public, if you Google and it pulls it up, you can read it. And it had all these people just going crazy, angry at each other about what to put in a squirrel nest. And because this guy had written that he and his wife had been using cedar chips and I think it was fleece. People jumping all over him on the cedar chips saying how toxic they are for the squirrels. And he's arguing, and I'm like, geez, people way down yonder the street use cedar chips for their landscaping when it's fresh. And the wind blows this. Oh God, it's horrible. I mean, I get such a headache, a throat ache, everything from cedar chips. I can't imagine if I lived somewhere and somebody packed it full of cedar chips. I can tell you, I'd move out. So somehow this guy has squirrels where his wife packs it with cedar chips and the squirrels don't move out. So he takes that as proof that it's a good thing. I take it as, wow, your nest must be pretty nice, or they have no alternatives, because if they're anything like me and they have good senses of smell, oh, it gives you such a headache. Cedar chips are awful. My point being, and I don't mean to be ripping on that guy because now I'm turning into part of the problem. What I was trying to say is that it's just a hotbed issue what to put in a squirrel nest. And wow. I remember one time someone left a comment that I should use my hair. And then someone else said no, because it could strangle the squirrels. I wouldn't even have thought of that. Or that they would get it caught around their paw and something like that. And I wouldn't have put my hair in there anyway. Geez, I know you don't think so, but I only got precious little hair left. I'm not putting it in a squirrel nest. So, yeah. My point is just that anything, it's amazing how anything can be a political issue, whether it's politics or not. If you just have an opinion, you can bet there's people with some other opinion, and you don't even know it's an opinion. Something like, I'm putting fleece in a cabin. You find out you've walked into a hornet's nest or a squirrel's nest. And it's like, whoa, I didn't know. I was just trying something. I'm just living, doing things, you try, you fail sometimes. You don't ever want to fail where somebody dies. So I'm really glad that somebody pointed that out to me, that there's that possibility. And I read more about fleece. So I don't know what the right answer is. Maybe it's just do what they like. I have some nests, certain nests, ones that are near pine trees, the squirrels fill them with pine needles. Other ones, they fill them with leaves. I think it has to do with what's available to them, it's near. So I could stick with the natural. I feel like if I do that, as long as I keep everything cleaned out frequently. The hard part is the more of these I put in, because I'm building kind of a city, the more I'm going to have to maintain. And I'm doing this with virtually no help, because all my family, rallied for a while. Everyone has their own interests in life, and that's just the way things go. And I've become, you're good at it when it comes to cleaning out dead bodies, cleaning out the nests, putting new ones up, everything. It's become, well, Amy, you're good at it. I'm good at it out of necessity, But so now I'm kind of the de facto person, and I could call in the troops, but if people's heart aren't in it, it's hard to ask them, hey, could you go in with a body probe and see if there's a corpse in there? It hits different for different people. For whatever reason, I can handle it. I am good at it. I'm a good coroner. I don't know why. And so there it is. So you always run the risk when you go in a cabin that you're going to find a corpse. So I become the de facto cleaner outer, body remover. What do you call the person who buries someone I'm everything. I'm the person, and I'm not the only person in my family. I'm not the only person here. But I'm that person. I'm the cabin. I guess it's the same way for people that have rent out Airbnbs. I'm betting money there's one person in the family that handles the majority of the work. It's just the way it goes. Pippy and Amy. She's like, the hell we do, I'm out of here. Oh. Pippy? Little Pippy selfie. She's like, not with squirrels around, Amy. It's bad enough you're trying to put me in your stupid selfies like you're some self-obsessed narcissist. Self-obsessed narcissist. There's an oxymoron. Here comes Pippy, or Floppy Doodle. Floppy Doodle. If I was him, I would be a narcissist. He's so cute. I couldn't help myself. I'd just be looking in the mirror all day.